Thank you, Jim. Thinking about a used car, nervous maybe about what's under the hood?
Boy, always, huh? Just a little bit nervous. When you buy a used car, are you buying someone else's problem? That's a concern. Well, our Monday morning mechanic, David Rogers from Keller Brothers Auto Repair, live this morning with a look at some pre-purchase inspections, what you need to know. Hi, David.
Hey, Tom. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Good, thanks.
First thing to check for, Tom, is always look in the back seat and make sure no one snuck in another pair of in-laws on you.
Exactly. Or French fries.
Or French fries. Those are almost a given, I think, in a used car. You know, there's a couple things we want to talk about when we talk about used cars. One is how to avoid getting yourself into a really bad situation. Sometimes when you buy a used car, you're buying somebody else's problems. Here, you see a gear shifter out of a car. This was a vehicle bought here in Denver recently, and something was wrong with it that we don't normally think of in Colorado, and that was this vehicle had been in a flood. The consumer didn't know it when they bought it. They were having trouble with the key of all things. We found out that it was actually the gear shifter that was causing that problem. About $500 problem just to replace this gear shifter, and the sad part is they still need to get rid of that car because there's going to be hundreds of problems inside that car. So first thing, take it to a technician once you find a car that you really like. But today I'm going to focus on showing you how to single out some cars, get some things out of the way that you might not want to have. The first thing I'm going to tell you, go to MondayMorningMechanic.com, go to the car care section. I got a used car buyer's checklist that will flat blow your mind. This thing will save you thousands of dollars. It's free. You don't have to sign up for anything. Just go in there and download it and print it. I'm going to show you a couple things under the hood here. First thing is my best friend when I'm looking at a car is a notepad and a pen. Well, that one won't work, but that one will. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to take notes. I'm going to tell you to look under the hood. Notice that this hasn't been steam cleaned. There's a little dust. That's actually a good thing, okay? I never buy a car that's been steam cleaned because oftentimes they'll steam clean the engine to hide leaks and hide other problems from you. You don't want that. I want to see a little dirt. I want to see that it's normal. I want to see that there's fluids where there's supposed to be fluids. I want to make sure those fluids are the right color. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to take a little sample of this brake fluid, and right here at the brake master cylinder, it looks a little dark to me, you know. The brake fluid is supposed to be this color. So I want to make sure that that brake fluid's the right color, that it isn't really, really bad. And I'm just going to stick this in here, this little straw, and I'm going to pull it out. And that color's not bad. Look at that color. That's pretty good. So the brake fluid actually looks better than it did when I looked at it inside the master cylinder. But I'm going to be looking at those. I'm going to be looking at leaks. I'm going to look at this battery, and I'm going to say, hey, do I see any swelling? Do I see any fluid, any corrosion around it? I'm going to lift the caps. No corrosion. That battery's in good shape. The vehicle looks fairly good from under the hood. I don't see any problems. Finally, I might add that we want to check some tire tread. So here on the tire tread, always check inside and outside tread, both sides, to make sure it's even. If there's more tread here or more tread here, we may have a suspension problem. You may have a problem with shocks. So I'm going to go around and step inside the vehicle now, and I want to show you a couple things to look for in here. The first thing I look for inside a car is I'm going to look and see that we have no cigarette burns on the upholstery. The upholstery looks good. There's no cracks on the dash. Everything looks pretty good here. No damage. Nothing's rotting away or burned or marred. There's no dog fur. No scratch marks up by the doors, by the windows, that sort of thing. Those are going to be first and foremost what I'm looking for when I look at that. Now, coming around the car, I'm also going to look for something that might indicate it's been in an accident. So with the doors shut, you want to check these gaps and make sure the gap is the same amount of distance all the way down. The gaps are the same on each side of the car. And coming around front, that we don't have anything loose or torn up around the windshield. There's no gaps, and especially that there's no rust around that windshield area. You can see a tiny bit of rust starting here. That probably wouldn't keep me from buying the car, but it's certainly something to negotiate about. Folks, remember the most important thing. You know, when you get into a used car sales deal, there's a couple things they're going to do besides steam cleaning the engine to hide the leaks. They're going to turn the radio right on away to try to have a lot of sound going that you don't hear any rattles or noises. So test drive the car, and once you find one you like, bring it to a certified ASE master technician and have it inspected. I always look for the AAA seal of approval or BBB when I'm trying to find a shop, and I'd recommend you do the same.
All right, David, thanks as always. Good advice from our Monday morning mechanic, David Rogers.